Lordy Lord, y'all. We got some dirty business going on around here. We might ought to be in some sort of lockdown. I'm headed into the dungeon. My name is Daniel. I'm a visual storyteller. I express this by my still life paintings I refer to as the kingdom. Most simply put, the kingdom is my imaginary world revealed in paint. Here are a few examples of that work. I set these scenarios up in front of me and paint from life, with no preliminary drawing or tracing.
Well, that's just fascinating.
I simply begin drawing in paint, hoping to demonstrate that still life can be an imaginative, exciting genre. Given all that I've said, you can imagine that the setup process is of utmost importance. This setup is an example of my use of alternative lighting. But rest assured, I have already summoned my subconscious flow.
Subconscious flow.
You know, I need all the help I can get. Ooh, I like that. I'll be adding direct light to the objects to come, but this backlight offers complication to the image and is tied to my pursuit of visual drama. I do not think this wiring would pass inspection, so I won't be calling any inspectors. Except you, of course. I invite you to inspect your eyeballs out. Well, now that we can better see what we're doing, I don't see any fruit bowl.
No fruit bowl.
It'll be all right. We'll carry on. This rather complicated lighting will be both interesting and challenging to represent in paint. Oh no. What have we here? A dirty bird. There goes what was a lovely neighborhood, right into the gutter. I hate to be judgmental, but I just have a funny feeling he's never made a good decision in his life.
Not one.
An unending daisy-chained succession of wackadoodle cuckoo bird stupid stuff. You know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Nice paintings. Why, thank you. But now back to my dirty birdiness. It just gets worse and worse. A descent into ding-dong theory.
Sure enough.
This guy would take your last French fry
Gobble, gobble.
when you get up to refill your drink, then look you right in the eye and swear he didn't do it.
I didn't do nothing.
He would politely ask to use your restroom, then rifle through your medicine chest and leave you with, "Have a blessed day." He takes everything he can, gives nothing but complaints and excuses, because everyone's against him.
Giant pain.
Furthermore, given the opportunity, he will infect you with his infected infections. To add to the misery, he is not alone, for there is another of equal questionableness.
Oh, no.
A team of torment.
I heard that.
A dire, dubious, dastardly duo.
Tell it.
Ever scheming as to how to help themselves to your stuff.
Right on.
Anything.
That's the only energy they actually expend. If I haven't fully made my point yet, they're dirty, dirty birds. They'll pee in your pool and or hot tub and smile while they do it. They'll slurp all the juice out of the bottom of your snow cone and hand you back nothing but ice.
Sure would.
They'll show up only when there's getting to be got.
Gimme.
for they have a radar for such things. They'll steal the stereo from your car and lock the door when they leave. They borrow gas money to get to choir practice, and you never see it again. Dirty birds. If given the opportunity, they'll open your fridge, bite off the end of your hot dog, and slip it right back in the bottom of the pack. Then they freely flick their fungus-infested feet upon your coffee table. Whatever you got, they want. Unless it's a job, 'cause they figured out a long time ago, work is for suckers. If there's a shortcut to be found, they find it. Lollygagging all over the place. Preferably your place. Dirty birds. We're really honing in on this setup. We have a visually interesting, gritty backdrop for the stars of this show. It seems to me they're gobbling up the attention, wallowing in the limelight. The harshness of this spotlight, which I know washes out the video quality a bit, is in part to imply exposure. This window is a simple but very effective method of visualizing, seeing the finished painting. Once I've determined the objects that are going to comprise the setup, I take my time adjusting them, evaluating how they interact with one another, and how best to serve the composition. We're looking for what is special. Before I began the setup, I had given thought to the props I would likely use and had gathered them together. Having too many choices to choose from is optimum, and although I have an idea where this setup is going, it remains a spontaneous event. In other words, I'm prepared to cast aside my preconceived notions for a better one. Nah, these two don't deserve an 8-track tape of Engelbert Humperdinck. Sure don't.
Find what is special.
Somehow, these two have a knack for getting real happy and making everyone around them miserable. If you need a favor, they're nowhere to be found. If you got $1, you can't get rid of them. They hold honorary master's degrees in irresponsibility, with a minor in slackness.
You poor thing.
If you're not paying ever vigilant attention, they'll run an extension cord from your outdoor outlet to power the stuff in their shed. Then share their wackadoodle music with everyone at 4 o'clock in the morning. Sporting backpacks, they'll scope out you and your neighbor's neighborhood, walking the dog they haven't fed in 3 days. They freely deposit their eggs in other birds' good birds' nests, freeing them to pursue their version of self-indulgent happiness unfettered, while doing everything in their power to convince you they're a victim of anything other than themselves. We're making progress on this composition, zeroing in.
Just don't screw it up.
And can you believe it? It's yet another triangle shape.
Can't believe it.
Now, from the start, I had always intended to use this rather harsh white light to expose these two, but I just had to check a different type of bulb. Ultimately, though, I go back to the one I started with. The contrast between the white light on the surface and the very warm light behind the boards just feels right. I also decided to move the wire from that throw switch to the right side, considering that it was providing the power for the light itself. However, as you may have already noted, the switch up top is not actually thrown. I decided to put it in that position for two reasons, basically. One was implying that these two were considering an act that has not yet quite taken place, hinting at a potential disaster.
Lordy Lord.
The other reason I kept it in this position, this semi-open position, was because I enjoyed just how much the shadow contributes to the overall composition. The use of light and shadow, both subtle and otherwise, is of great importance to me. Related to that, you may notice that I have relocated the light source to the right just slightly from being clamped to the vertical surface onto something of a small pedestal.
Well, all right.
The shadow cast by that switch's handle is providing movement that would not be there if that switch were fully flipped upward and that circuit was closed. But also, again, I just love the implication of that switch being not quite closed, as if these two are considering an act that is not yet fully acted upon.
My goodness.
And we're left to only wonder what the results of that act would be.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But from everything we know about these two to this point, it can't be good. I remember this one time, they crashed my party and slurped directly from the punch bowl. Then, flashing their pin feathers at everyone, they sat on my coffee table and broke it, all before passing out on the floor, blocking the path to the bathroom. They will suck your very soul dry before moving on. At least actual leeches can perform a function. Actual slimy leeches can be of benefit. Not these two.
Nope.
My mama taught me to try to find the good in everyone. And I can't find it. Okay, wait. They have made me laugh. But, like a bitter aftertaste, that initial laughter always gives way to a broader understanding of something horrible.
It's always the same.
And the only ones that seem unaffected are them. Perhaps some of you have not had this wonderful experience. Perhaps you think this is all some wild, extravagant fantasy.
Crazy talk.
Perhaps you just won't get it until this happens to you. Them leaving their disgusting feathers all over your yard. But don't think for a second that they can't show up in that abandoned house behind yours and start squatting, squawking, and infecting. Say it with me. Dirty,
Dirty
birds.
birds.
It took me some time to finally settle on the position of that lighter with its highly reflective surface. I was really considering how it was catching the light and what I wanted to reflect. Of course, every decision I make is in pursuit of serving the painting. And I think it's worth pointing out that despite all the effort gone into this setup, I will take considerable liberties, many of them nuanced, when it comes time to rendering this subject into paint. And so, after all this, I have a little confession to make. Actually, dirty birds is an expression that my aunts used. I always liked it, and it's never left me. I guess I stole it. But I also have another confession to make. I have to tell you, things aren't quite as dire as they've once seemed. Perhaps that harsh spotlight isn't simply to just expose their dirty birdery. Perhaps it's a revelation. The title of the painting to be, Two Dirty Birds See the Light. On behalf of all mankind, we thank you. And I thank you, viewers, for viewing and for visiting the rather dubious deep depths of my deepness.
I think I'm all out. This is my last nerve. I think I'm all out. Man, what you talking about? You wanna real the girl? I ain't got no doubt, but I don't need no doubt. I want nothing. I think I'm all